Alright, we're whiskey business! Hey! 1, 2, everyone come on! 1, Rashawn! 1, 2, 3. I thought it was really cool how everybody just did it different.
Yeah, I actually appreciated that Dr. Gower didn't give us, okay, sometimes it's frustrating, but in this case, I did appreciate it because it's nice to see what other people thought was what the discussion, like, should be.
Yeah, I mean, I really just, like, a lot of my, like, just her talking about it was kind of, you know, talking about, like, oh, well, you should, like, include this or talk about this, like, just kind of, like, the idea of reflecting on what we thought was important kind of allowed for all the other groups to, it showed, like, what they viewed as important in the course, like, how everyone just kind of saw everything differently.
And, like, the dynamic of groups, it was kind of interesting, because now that we've seen them, like, group formation blog, we've seen them present, and now we're finally seeing them sort of wrap up and seeing how they've grown.
You see what's important to everybody else, because, you know, what you thought was like, oh, the blogs were important. No, you know, the presentations were the harder part. Like,
yeah, like, I feel like everyone viewed it differently.
Yeah, like what they're taking away from this class. So that's pretty good.
So Team Worldly, so we all agreed that we really liked how theirs was like a story. You specifically said journey.
Yeah, the journey.
It really introduced all of the different individuals in the group and like what they went through, and you could see that they had a really strong bond, and I appreciated that.
I liked the combination of like they each sort of like did a video reflection about how they felt about the class, and then they sort of also came together and discussed a bit. So it was sort of like a nice dynamic. And then I loved the pictures that they had.
Yeah.
It was like I was more invested because I wasn't just watching them talk.
Yeah.
It would just be us sitting at a desk though.
Oh, yeah. So we really liked how the formation squad, like, kind of analyzed the management of Goodwill, right?
Yeah. They, like, went in depth about the actual management part, which was interesting because I feel like, I don't know, part of the volunteer work was just to do volunteer work, but then to apply what we learned in class to the actual volunteer work was really interesting and cool.
Yeah, and I like how they like did the sort of discussion, like how like we kind of did it. I don't know, it felt like you kind of got a lot of their personalities in it.
Yeah.
I liked how Team Rec talked about not having to take exams and focusing more on blogs, because all these classes are always focusing on the next exam. It seems like every other week there's an exam. It's nice.
Yeah, like you're just kind of like,
actually.
Yeah.
I liked how they touched on how because we don't have exams, we got more like practical application of the stuff that we were learning. So that was something that they brought up that I felt to be true.
Yeah, and then after watching like Barely Managing's video, like, yeah, I kind of realized we should have talked more about our roles in it. It's something we left out of our video, which I feel like we definitely covered a lot of what was necessary for us and what was important to us, but I think it would have been nice to go over like how our roles functioned for our group.
I also think like their group was a lot bigger than ours, so like I feel like their roles were more important to like running their group and organizing it, whereas like there's 4 of us and we all get along fairly well, so it was like we have these roles, but like at times we each sort of like would help out or like
it's like a push-pull. Yeah.
So like while we have titles, I don't know how much we were like, this is my job, so this is what I'm gonna do.
Well, the one time Rashawn got a little snappy at me.
I mean, you just blatantly took my job without asking.
I like wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like, I'm gonna reserve the room now. And Rashawn was like, oh, so I guess you're the timekeeper. I was like, and then Notorious MGMT, I feel like they really got to know each other over the course of the semester, and I appreciated how that reflected in their video. Like, it was very evident that they really like knew. Like, they had that dynamic really worked out, and it was nice to see that there was that level of development.
Yeah.
I liked how they like had like they were in pairs, so it was still like kind of a discussion. I sort of missed that whole like group discussion.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Okay.
Well, we're good. All right.
Bye. Let's do this again. 1, 2, 3.